There are moments when, before a door closes, God always leaves gentle signals for you to notice. They're not loud. Sometimes it's just a sudden uneasiness, an unexplained delay, or a quiet stirring in your heart you can't put into words. But here's the scary part. If you ignore those signals, you may end up staying in a season God has already stepped out of. And when He moves on, the safest place for you is always to follow His footsteps. This is the first of 5 warnings that often appear before God closes a door. Sign number 1. Peace disappears and is replaced by heaviness. God doesn't always guide you by opening a huge door. Sometimes, He makes the place you're standing feel tight, uncomfortable, or no longer suitable, so you'll be forced to move forward. A job you once thanked God for suddenly becomes draining.
How could you be so
A
careless?
relationship once filled with laughter becomes a burden.
Do not
Even a
despair.
place that once felt like home no longer fits the person you're becoming. These changes aren't because you did something wrong. Often, they're God's gentle reminder. In Deuteronomy 1:6, He told Israel, "You have stayed at this mountain long enough."
Peace be with you.
They weren't in
There is
danger.
nothing to fear.
They were stuck in
Let us go
comfort.
forward together.
They stayed in a place God intended only as a temporary stop. He still works the same today. When you linger too long in an expired season, God may remove the peace that once surrounded you and allow pressure to rise until you can no longer ignore it.
I will give you rest.
But that pressure isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's His invitation. I have more for you ahead, but you'll never see it if you stay where you are. Sign number 2. What once worked suddenly stops working. One of the strongest signs that God is redirecting your life is when things that used to produce results suddenly feel empty. Old habits, familiar connections, even the skills that once helped you move forward, they stop carrying you anywhere. It's like trying to draw water with a bucket that now has holes in the bottom. No matter how hard you work, nothing stays. Peter experienced this in Luke 5. He had fished those waters all his life, using the same nets he trusted. Yet after an entire night of effort, he caught nothing, until Jesus told him to cast the net in a different direction. One step of obedience. Everything changed. Sometimes God lets the familiar stop working, not to hurt you, but to pull you out of a comfort zone you refuse to leave.
It's glowing.
Because as long as everything keeps working, you'll never realize it's time for a new journey. When the familiar starts collapsing, it might be God whispering, "You've received everything this place can give you. Now walk with me into deeper, wider waters." Sign number 3. Unexpected obstacles keep showing up. Sometimes God closes a door not with thunder, but with a series of confusing disruptions. A plan that seemed certain suddenly falls apart. An opportunity you were about to grab disappears. A path that used to be clear gets blocked again and again. You try to move forward, but it feels like every step is being pulled backward. In Numbers 22, Balaam rode his donkey toward a place God didn't want him to go. 3 times the donkey stopped because the angel of the Lord was blocking the path. Balaam thought it was just a problem, but it was actually protection. Psalm 37:23-24 reminds us, "The Lord directs the steps of the one who delights in him. Though they stumble, they will not fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand." Not every delay is an attack or a test. Sometimes God Himself is slowing you down because the door you're trying to open is not His door for you. Sign number 4. Deep clarity comes when your soul becomes quiet. God's guidance doesn't always appear through dramatic signs or loud events. Often, it comes in the most ordinary moments, while you're sitting alone, cleaning the house, driving, or lying in bed at night. Suddenly, something becomes clear in your heart. like a small light turning on. You realize it's time to change, to move, or to let go of something. The prophet Elijah experienced this in 1 Kings 19. He expected God to speak through wind, earthquake, or fire. But God spoke in a gentle whisper, so soft that only a quieted heart could hear it. Psalm 46:10 tells us, "Be still and know that I am God." When your heart grows calm, the noise of life fades, and His direction becomes clearer than ever. If a thought, a prompting, or a sudden clarity rises during a peaceful moment, don't ignore it. It may be the Holy Spirit preparing you for a new chapter before the old door closes. Sign number 5. Your desires change before your season changes. When a season is ending, God often quietly pulls your heart away from what belongs to that old door. What once brought you joy no longer feels fulfilling. Dreams you used to cherish no longer stir your heart. Opportunities you once chased no longer excite you. You're not becoming numb. God is reshaping your spiritual appetite. Israel experienced this too in the wilderness. In Numbers 11, they longed for Egypt's food until God gave them manna from heaven. When the provision changed, so did their cravings. Psalm 37:4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." This doesn't just mean God answers your desires, He forms the right desires within you. And often, before God opens a new door, He first loosens your grip on the old one, so you'll begin to hunger for the better things coming. When a door suddenly closes, it's not abandonment. It's usually God redirecting you to something safer and far better. The real question is, are you aware enough to recognize the signs before the shift happens? Sometimes it's that gentle uneasiness, that mysterious delay, or the quiet pull away from what used to feel right. All of them are God's signals that a new path is about to open. If this message speaks to your heart, comment, "Lord, I place my trust in you." And don't forget to follow for more messages that help you recognize His voice in every season of your life.